Hey y'all, today's lesson is simple interest. All right, so simple interest. First, interest is the money that you earn on the principal amount. And the principal amount, I know just more words that maybe you don't know or are not familiar with, but the principal amount is like the amount that you start with, maybe the money you deposit in the bank. It could be if you take out a loan or if you borrow money. It's an amount of money. And the interest is the money earned on that money. Whether you are paying it or earning it, it's a percentage of the money. So if you put money into a bank and it earns interest, then that's money that you're gaining. If you borrow money, if you go to the bank and you take out a loan and you borrow money, then you have to pay interest back on that loan. And there are two types of interest. There's simple interest and there's compound interest. So today we're going to talk about simple interest. There is a formula for simple interest, and it's I equals P times R times T, or sometimes you'll hear I party, PRT. These are multiplied together, and I'm going to tell you what they all stand for. I stands for interest, and that's going to be money, interest. The P is for principal amount, and that's going to be a dollar value, a principal amount, times the rate. So this is going to be a percent that we're going to change to a decimal. So it's the rate. Everything is earned at a rate. And then time, and this is going to be in years. All right? If the problem doesn't give it to you in years, then you have to convert it to years, and I'll show you how to do that. So I equals P times R times T. The interest that you earn is a mathematical formula based on how much money you put in, what the rate is, and how long you leave the money there, and that will determine your interest. So let's get started with some examples. Example 1. Okay. How much interest will you earn on $600 deposited at 7% simple interest for 2 years? And then how much would you have after 50 months? So how much interest will you earn? So this is what we're looking for. Will you earn on $600? This is our principal. That's how much we're starting with, $600. Here's our rate, 7%, and then our time, 2 years. So it's just putting it into our formula. We start with our formula, I equals PRT. I'm always going to recommend that you start with your formula. We're looking for I. We don't know what that is. The principal is $600. Our rate is 7%, but we need to change it to a decimal, so 0.07. And our time is 2 years. It's already in years. Now, if you want to multiply all that, please do. I'm going to type it into my calculator. 600 plus 0.07 times 2. So, 600 times 0.07 times 2. So my interest is $84. That's how much interest I've earned. I already put $600 in the bank. So we earned this over 2 years. That means in year 1, we earned $42. And in year 2, we could have earned another $42. But that is $84 over the 2 years. That's how much interest we've earned. Now it asks for 50 months. So 50 months is not giving it to us in years. So we're going to do the same thing, $600 times 0.07, except we need to write 50 months in years. Now 50 months is a little more than 4 years, so we're just going to write 50 over 12. To just be exact, 50 over 12. And then in your calculator, you type in 600 times 0.07 times 50 over 12. Now I'm going to show you what I've typed in. It might be backwards, I don't know. But I typed in 50 divided by 12, and I put it in parentheses. And our interest, if we leave it in longer, is going to be $175 over those 50 months. So that's the interest over those 50 months. We've earned $175 interest on that $600. All right, some more examples. Example 2. All right, what's the ending balance for an account with $2,455 starting at 3% simple interest for 6 years? Now, ending balance, underline ending balance in your notes, and an ending balance is your total. So we're looking for our total. To find the total, you have to add the principal plus the interest. That's to find the ending balance. You have to take the principal that you started with and then add the interest, and that's going to be your ending balance. We're going to start with our formula. Principal is how much we started with. So it's 2,000, I don't know why I can say it, 2,455. Our rate, 3%, so we need to change that to a decimal. And then our years, it's already in 6 years. So I'm going to type that into my calculator. 2,455 times 0.03 times 6 years. And we've earned, just double checking, $441.90. That's our interest over those 6 years. But we're going to add that to our principal. So our ending balance is $441.90 plus our starting amount. So when you add that together, it is $2,896.90. That is our ending balance. So if you have a question asking about ending balance, you're going to find your interest and then add it back into your principal. All right, example 3. Okay. Matthew borrows $5,000 at 9% simple interest. How much interest will Matthew accrue in 18 months? So again, we're trying to find interest. I party, I equals PRT. We started, he borrows $5,000, so that's how much we're starting with. That's our principal amount. At an interest rate of 9% and for 18 months. 18 months. Now, 18 months is 1.5 years. So you could totally put 1.5 here for your years. I'm just putting 18 over 12. Either way, it's equivalent. So $5,000 times 0.09 times 18 divided by 12. And our interest is $675. That means over the course of the year and a half of the 18 months, Matthew's going to pay an additional $675 in interest. He has to pay back his loan, and then he also has to pay a little extra interest. That's how banks make money, is they let you borrow money. Sure, you can borrow money to buy a house, and then you have to pay back a bunch of extra. I don't know if your parents are open with this kind of stuff, but you can always ask your parents like about buying a house or buying a car and kind of the interest that they have to pay back on that. Okay. Here's another example. Example 4, you deposit $2,500 in an account that earns 4% simple interest. How long will it take you to earn $500 in interest? So now I've underlined how long. Underline that on your notes. How long? This time we are looking for time. We're going to start with our formula. And it says right here, $500 in interest. So our interest is $500. We deposited $2,500. So that is our principal. And our rate is 4%. We don't know how long, and that's what we're looking for. So that's our variable. We've solved equations. We've been working at solving equations. So just because this looks different, you should still be able to solve it. First thing you're going to do is multiply these two, 2,500 times 0.04. Well, that works out nice. Did I do that right? 2,500 times 0.04. Okay, 100. Bring down your t. And then we're going to divide by 100. You know how to solve an equation. So t equals 5 years. It will take us 5 years to earn $500 of interest. And what that means is if we take $2,500 and we go to the bank and we put it in an account and we don't do anything, we have to leave it there for 5 years, and we'll have earned $500 in interest. Now, our ending balance, this is how much we started, this is our interest. So if you put those together, then we would have $3,000 at the end of 5 years. All right, last example. You took out a loan for a car for $10,000. After 12 years, you've paid a total of $16,000 back. What was the simple interest rate? So again, what was the rate? So we're looking for R. You take out a loan for $10,000. So that's our principal. 12 years, that's our time. Now this number, we've paid a total of $16,000. This is our total that we've paid back. And remember we talked about it earlier. Your total is your principal plus your interest. So if I want to put it into my formula so I can solve an equation, let's put in what we know. We know that the principal, the amount we borrowed was $10,000. We don't know the rate, so that's our variable. And we know the time is 12 years. Now my question to you is, do you know what the interest is? And some of you might think, yeah, I know the interest is $16,000. But the interest is not the $16,000. That's the total. The interest is the difference between $16,000 total minus the principal that we borrowed against it. So the interest is really $6,000. That is the interest. And so I got that by subtracting. We're going to solve this by doing something very similar. We're going to multiply 10,000 times 12. So 120,000 R. Bring everything else down. We're going to divide. Okay. So if you have your calculator, type that in. 6,000 divided by 120,000. It's going to be that's what I thought, 0.05. Now remember, that's a decimal. Our rate is a decimal. So what percentage is that? So the answer is going to be 5% simple interest rate. And that is the rate at which we borrowed $10,000, and then after 12 years, we actually paid back $6,000 of interest. So we paid back more than half of what our loan was in interest over 12 years. And so that's how people make their money. All right, so we're going to practice more simple interest in class.